Arachnophobia, understanding and overcoming the fear of spiders. Hey there, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I explore the fascinating world of human fears and phobias. If you enjoy this kind of content, make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. Today we're diving deep into one of the most common phobias worldwide, arachnophobia, the fear of spiders. Imagine this. Sarah from Portland is enjoying a peaceful evening at home. She's curled up on her couch with a good book when suddenly, from the corner of her eye, she spots something small and dark moving across her living room wall. A spider. In an instant, her heart races, her palms sweat, and she feels an overwhelming urge to flee the room. Despite the spider being smaller than a quarter, Sarah's body reacts as if she's facing a life-threatening danger. This reaction isn't rare. According to research, approximately 3 to 15% of the population suffers from arachnophobia, making it one of the most common specific phobias in the United States and worldwide. But why do these small creatures trigger such intense fear responses in so many people? Is it learned, or are we born with it? And most importantly, if you're one of the millions affected, how can you overcome this fear? Today we'll explore the psychology behind arachnophobia, hear real stories from people who've experienced it, understand its evolutionary origins, and discover effective strategies to conquer this fear. Whether you're personally affected or simply curious about human psychology, this exploration into the world of spider fears promises fascinating insights. What exactly is arachnophobia? Arachnophobia is more than just disliking spiders. It's an intense, irrational fear that can trigger severe anxiety responses even when there's no actual danger present. The American Psychiatric Association classifies it as a specific phobia, an anxiety disorder characterized by extreme, persistent fear of a specific object or situation. For someone with arachnophobia, even seeing an image of a spider can trigger rapid heartbeat, shortness of breath, sweating, trembling, nausea, dizziness, a sense of unreality or detachment, an overwhelming need to escape. Take Michael from Austin, Texas. He describes his experience. It's not just being scared. When I see a spider, even a tiny one, my entire body goes into panic mode. I can't think straight. I've literally jumped out of moving cars before when I've spotted one inside. I know it's irrational, but in that moment, my brain is convinced I'm in mortal danger. The severity varies widely. Some people experience mild anxiety when encountering spiders, while others develop such intense fear that it impacts their daily functioning, avoiding certain locations, constantly checking rooms, or even limiting outdoor activities. The evolutionary roots of spider fear. Why spiders? Of all the creatures on Earth, why do these particular arthropods trigger such widespread fear? Many scientists believe arachnophobia has evolutionary roots. Our ancient ancestors, who quickly learned to avoid potentially venomous creatures like spiders, had a survival advantage. This preparedness theory, proposed by psychologist Martin Seligman, suggests we're biologically prepared to develop fears of things that threatened our ancestors. Dr. Elizabeth Warren, an evolutionary psychologist from the University of Chicago, explains, throughout human evolution, venomous creatures posed a legitimate threat. Those who had an innate caution around spiders were more likely to survive and pass on their genes. What we see today as irrational fear once served a very rational purpose, keeping our ancestors alive. Interestingly, studies show that both humans and primates can develop fear of spiders more easily than fear of other objects. In one famous experiment, researchers found that both children and monkeys learned to associate spiders with fear more quickly than they learned to fear flowers or mushrooms. But evolution isn't the whole story. Cultural and learned aspects of spider fear. Not everyone fears spiders. In fact, in some cultures, spiders are revered or even consumed as food. This suggests that while we might have an evolutionary predisposition toward caution around spiders, cultural factors and personal experiences play crucial roles in developing full-blown phobias. Jessica from Seattle shares her story. I never had a problem with spiders until I was 7. My older brother locked me in our dark basement where I felt something crawling on my arm. He had placed a large house spider on me as a prank. 20 years later, I still can't see a spider without panicking. Research supports this. Many arachnophobes can trace their fear to a specific negative experience with spiders. Others acquired the fear indirectly through observational learning, watching someone else react fearfully, informational transmission, being told spiders are dangerous, media portrayal, horror movies featuring spiders. Dr. James Thompson, a clinical psychologist specializing in phobias, notes, "The media doesn't help. From arachnophobia to Spider-Man villains, popular culture often portrays spiders as sinister, dangerous creatures lurking in shadows. Children especially are susceptible to these messages." The reality about spiders versus our perception. Let's take a moment to separate fact from fiction. Of the approximately 45,000 known spider species worldwide, only about 30 have venom capable of causing serious harm to humans. In the United States, only the black widow and brown recluse spiders pose significant health risks, and even their bites rarely result in death with proper medical treatment. Statistically speaking, you're far more likely to die from a bee sting, dog bite, or car accident than from a spider bite. In fact, spiders play crucial ecological roles. They control insect populations, prevent the spread of diseases carried by flies and mosquitoes, serve as food sources for birds and other animals. Some spider venoms are being studied for potential medical applications. As arachnologist Dr. Linda Martinez puts it, spiders are nature's pest control. A single spider can consume hundreds of insects annually, including disease-carrying mosquitoes. Without spiders, we'd likely see explosions in pest populations that would impact agriculture and human health. Yet despite these facts, the fear persists. This disconnect between the actual threat and our perception of it is what makes phobias so fascinating from a psychological perspective. Real-life impact. Living with arachnophobia. For those with severe arachnophobia, the fear extends far beyond occasional discomfort. It can significantly impact quality of life. Consider David from Miami. "I've turned down job opportunities because the offices were in older buildings, more likely to have spiders. I inspect my car every morning before getting in. I've walked out of restaurants after seeing a spider. Dating is complicated because I need to make sure any potential partner understands I can't handle camping or certain outdoor activities." Or Lisa from Chicago. "When I bought my house, I chose it specifically because it was in a newer development with less vegetation around it. I pay for monthly pest control even though I don't have an infestation. I've spent thousands of dollars trying to spider-proof my life." The psychological burden extends beyond direct encounters. Many arachnophobes experience anticipatory anxiety, worrying about potentially encountering spiders, sleep disturbances, checking bedrooms, shaking out blankets, social limitations, avoiding certain activities or locations, embarrassment and shame about their fear, secondary anxiety about how others perceive their reactions. This constant vigilance is exhausting. The good news? Arachnophobia is highly treatable. Treatment approaches: overcoming spider fear. If you're struggling with arachnophobia, several evidence-based approaches can help. 1. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. CBT is considered the gold standard for treating specific phobias. It involves identifying and challenging irrational thoughts about spiders, learning relaxation techniques to manage anxiety, gradual exposure to spiders in a controlled environment. Dr. Rebecca Chen, a clinical psychologist specializing in anxiety disorders, explains, "CBT helps people recognize that their catastrophic thoughts about spiders, 'It will attack me, I'll die if it touches me,' are not based in reality. By challenging these thoughts and gradually facing the fear, the brain learns that spiders aren't the threat it perceived them to be." 2nd, exposure therapy. This specific type of CBT involves systematically exposing yourself to spiders in increasingly challenging ways. A typical hierarchy might include looking at cartoon images of spiders, viewing realistic photos of spiders, watching videos of spiders, being in the same room as a spider in a sealed container, being near a free-moving spider, eventually allowing a non-venomous spider to crawl on your hand. Each step is practiced until anxiety decreases before moving to the next level. While this sounds terrifying to arachnophobes, the process is gradual and controlled. Third, virtual reality exposure. For those who aren't ready for real spiders, virtual reality offers a middle ground. VR programs can simulate spider encounters in a completely safe environment while still triggering enough of the fear response to be therapeutic. 4. Medication. While not a cure, anti-anxiety medications can sometimes help manage symptoms during treatment. These might include beta blockers to control physical symptoms like rapid heartbeat, anti-anxiety medications for short-term relief, in some cases, antidepressants for ongoing anxiety management. 5. Mindfulness and relaxation techniques. Learning to manage the physical symptoms of fear can help break the anxiety cycle. Deep breathing exercises, progressive muscle relaxation, mindfulness meditation, grounding techniques, success stories, overcoming arachnophobia, treatment works. Many former arachnophobes have completely overcome their fears. Take Robert from Denver. I was so terrified of spiders that I would sleep with the lights on during summer months. After 8 weeks of exposure therapy, I can now calmly remove spiders from my home using a cup and paper. The fear isn't completely gone, but it no longer controls my life. Or Amanda from Nashville. Through CBT, I learned that my fear wasn't really about spiders. It was about feeling out of control. Once I addressed that underlying issue and gradually exposed myself to spiders, my fear diminished dramatically. Last month, I even visited a spider exhibit at our local science museum. My friends couldn't believe it. These transformations don't happen overnight, but with persistence, even severe arachnophobia can be overcome. DIY approaches, self-help for spider fear. If professional treatment isn't accessible or you're not ready for that step, here are some self-help strategies. 1. Education. Learning about spiders can help demystify them. Understanding their behavior, biology, and ecological importance can replace fear with fascination. Did you know? Most spiders are shy and avoid human contact. Spiders don't seek to bite humans, they only bite defensively. Many spider bites are actually caused by other insects or medical conditions. Jumping spiders, despite their name, are considered among the most cute spiders by entomologists due to their fuzzy appearance and curious behavior. Second, gradual self-exposure. Create your own exposure hierarchy and work through it slowly. Start with cartoon spiders or abstract spider shapes. Progress to realistic images. Watch nature documentaries featuring spiders. Visit spider exhibits at zoos, viewing from a comfortable distance. Take each step at your own pace, only moving forward when your anxiety begins to decrease. 3. Reframing thoughts. When you encounter a spider or think about them, practice challenging, fearful thoughts. Instead of, "That spider's going to attack me," try, "That spider is more afraid of me and wants to escape." Instead of, "If it touches me, something terrible will happen," try, "If it touches me, it might feel unpleasant, but I'll be okay." Fourth model. Calm behavior. If you're a parent with arachnophobia, be mindful about transmitting your fear to children. Try to model calm responses to spiders, even if you have to fake it. Consider asking a non-fearful friend to help remove spiders from your home in a humane way. The bigger picture. What phobias teach us? Phobias like arachnophobia offer fascinating windows into human psychology. They demonstrate how our ancient survival mechanisms sometimes clash with modern reality. They show how our brains can create intense fear responses even when our rational minds know there's no real danger. Dr. Michael Peterson, a neuroscientist studying fear responses, explains, "When we study phobias, we're essentially studying the amygdala, the brain's fear center, overriding the prefrontal cortex, which handles rational thought. This override was crucial for survival throughout most of human history. The problem is that this system doesn't distinguish well between actual life-threatening dangers and perceived threats like harmless spiders. Understanding these mechanisms doesn't just help us address specific fears, it gives us insight into anxiety disorders more broadly and helps us develop compassion for those struggling with various phobias." Conclusion. Arachnophobia, like all phobias, exists on a spectrum. From mild discomfort to life-altering fear, spider phobia affects millions of people worldwide. While it may have evolutionary origins, cultural factors and personal experiences shape its development and expression. The good news is that with understanding, patience, and the right approach, this fear can be overcome. Whether through professional treatment or self-help strategies, the path to freedom from spider fear exists. If you're struggling with arachnophobia, remember, your fear is common and understandable. It doesn't define you. Effective treatments exist. Small steps lead to significant progress. The freedom on the other side is worth the effort. Thank you so much for watching today's video on arachnophobia. If you found this helpful or interesting, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content exploring human fears and how to overcome them. Drop a comment below sharing your experiences with spider fear or any questions you might have. And remember, while fear is a natural part of the human experience, it doesn't have to control your life. See you in the next video.